The productivity paradox. How do you balance pushing for results with protecting your team's mental health when burnout is becoming visible?
Great question, Jamie. I think that, sustainability, obviously performance versus a, constant fire drill of pushing month in and month out. And in my opinion, is what I've experienced is that, you're going to get more sustainable results. You can foster a culture, mixture of both, a healthy dose. So that way you can continue to build on that. So you're not just, again, going round in circles. You're not constantly pushing for the exact same result with the exact same actions. And in my opinion, that's one of the things that causes burnout. Again, you can have a healthy mixture of both. One of the things that I say is, if you have someone who is, if you know your people, you know your team, and one of the things that I guess that's important to them is family time or whatever the case is, then if there's something that needs to be done and it's going to impede on that time, then it's probably not a good idea. You're probably not going to get some good performance from that person. You're probably not going to get a response. You might get upset, and then it's just a constant. It's a domino effect of emotions that spills into the next day, into the next week, into the next month, and that person starts to feel like they have, no freedom, they have no autonomy, or they're just not being respected by the company that they're supposed to be pushing for results. And even though it's it's supposed to be a mutually profitable relationship, right? It doesn't seem that way when you have that constant pressure day in and day out. So, one of the things, as I mentioned, is, protecting those key boundaries with your employees. I think it's knowing your people, obviously celebrating some of the small wins with your people, even though it may be a part of their scope of work. But just recognizing that in front of their peers, goes a long way. And then, of course, having that sustainability conversations with them about their scope of work in general. I mean, is it too much work for them? Can they not handle it? Do they not know how to do their job? Do they need some more training? And that may be something that we miss just because we're so focused on what the end goal is, and we're not focused on, hey, this person just doesn't have the capacity to do exactly what we hired them to do, and or they just need some more training. Let's go back to the well and figure out exactly what we need to do to get them there, so that way they are, they are pushing, they are getting results, and they are happy at home. So, a good balance.
Well, so my perspective is going to come from myself personally, having sat in the seat for 9 years on the sales side prior to going to the director of sales. And so I know the pressure is real. I really do, especially in today's market. In new home sales, there's always another goal, there's always a fire, there's another closing to chase, if you will. And I felt it firsthand myself personally. And what happens over time is when that becomes imbalanced, everybody feels it, everybody sees it, right? And so what happens, you just lose your energy, but not only do you just lose your energy, you actually lose your effectiveness in the sale. And so now over the last year as a director, I actually looked at productivity in a little different lens. When I was on the sales side, I would think the more hours I'm there, the more I'm going to sell. But now as a director, I realize that that's not true. It's more about the hours that you put in, making sure that you're getting the things done in the time that you're there to see if they actually move the needle. And so it's not really about squeezing the hours out of people. I think you also should have to remove friction at any point in time. So we live in a very tech-forward world. We can do things with follow-up tasks that would once reporting used to be a nightmare, right? And so I think that you can do follow-up emails and streamline things to really protect that energy in the salesperson. So I try to do that as well and to not create as much busy work. I encourage small breaks within my team. And that may be a 5-minute reset between a call or a 5-minute reset between a meeting. Just step outside and take a couple breaths. I know that helps reset. It could also be the difference between showing up very flat or showing up very sharp. And so the way I see it, my responsibility in this is twofold. One, I'm supposed to drive results, right? I got to get the sales. But at the same time, I also need to protect my team's energy over the long term making sure that they don't have any burnout. Because burnout is extremely expensive for the company and for them. And the energy is also priceless if we can create that. So when you protect the team's energy, you actually create conditions for stronger, more consistent results.
I believe great sales leadership is about driving results without driving people into the ground. So when I see burnout, I treat it like a warning light. It means that we need to adjust before performance suffers. So focus on clarity, priorities, cut out the noise, set measurable goals, and make sure my team knows exactly what I need for them to move the needle. I check in with them regularly on their headspace and their willingness to distribute a workload if something's just too much. So in that process, celebrating wins, big and small, recognition fuels momentum, absolutely. So keeping the team hungry, focused, and resilient, and proud of the work they're doing is the overall objective.